So I'm still playing catch up here. I'm probably about a week behind, but I have made a lot of progress on the scene manager and time manager, as well as the collision system. Although it's not quite working at the moment, I'm getting a lot of just a lot of errors. So I'll show you what I have so far. Let me just demonstrate the time manager real quick. So I'm pressing F10, stopping time, F9 to step through, then F10, and we're back again. Now the scene change, I'm pressing 1, and we're in a new scene, and all of the systems still work, the time manager still works. Alright. So when I exit, I do get a breakpoint triggered here, and that's because I'm not deregistering my inputables correctly. Um, so yeah, I didn't catch this until I was like just completely out of time for this week, but I'm pretty confident I can fix that quickly. Okay, so let me just go over the freeze time real quick. Since you already, whoa, okay, that's gonna mess me up. Since you already gave us most of this, I'm just gonna breeze through this. Yes, there's the file that you gave us here. And the time manager itself, this is pretty much the core of it. Process time, and we're keeping track of both the system time in seconds and the frame time. And you can see the output here. Okay. Yep, and set up with attorneys there. Alright, so I'm just going to get rid of these. Okay. Alright, and as for the scene change, please don't drop this in the thing. Okay. Oh boy, it's going to do it anyway. Alright, great. So the scene change. So if we start at the world plane, if you press the 1 key, we're just setting the next scene for the scene manager. So let's see what that looks like. Set next scene, and then we're calling the change scene command right over here. And I'm using the null pointer for the null scene change here, or rather the null scene change command, which doesn't execute anything. So that's going to be running every frame and just telling it uh, not to actually execute, just like you laid out in the slides. And then when we actually do call the scene change, then we change the current command to the scene change command here, which actually has a proper execute to call. Let's see, call the scene change method. Um, all right, great. So let's move on to collisions, or at least what I have so far with collisions. Okay, why am I starting in game? All right, forget. So here I have this commented out because obviously if I commented it in, the entire thing would just explode. But yeah, so collision registration for frigate. So we're just calling collidable here. And we've got the template pretty much set up as it's supposed to be set up as far as I know. And we're directly calling the scene manager. We're not going through an attorney. So scene manager, get current scene, submit command. Let's see. Yeah. So so that's just submitting the basic collision registration command. And in the execute, it's calling register on the collidable group. Okay. Yeah, so here's where I ran into like the brunt of the problems, because I was getting a lot of uh, just like a lot of include errors and inheritance errors, because it was saying that collidable was not defined in my game object class, and I was stuck on that for a good like 2 or 3 hours. Um, but yeah, I think it has something to do with this being a singleton and not calling the private methods. Although I did set it up to where I was having static methods here calling private methods, and that didn't seem to resolve my issue. So I'm just calling instance, and we're pushing back a a collidable collection into this storage thing over here. All right. Um, So we move on to the scene demo. So scene set collision pair is my way of going through the actual scene to set the collision pair. And I think that was causing a lot of issues too, but I don't really know how to resolve that um, in a way that's not going to cause these include errors. Because I was getting like a lot of the collidable isn't defined, and that was very annoying. And I was trying to like do forward declarations, and uh, that's probably my main issue, that my forward declarations just aren't as they should be. Okay. Um, yeah. So in collidable manager, this is where we have the actual set collision pair. So I'm just trying to call the manager through the scene, like I'm doing with everything else. So if we take a look at the actual scene.h, I have all of these other managers, so updatable, drawable, alarmable, and I have the collidable manager, but that's a problem because I have to include collidable and also game object here, which is a conflict with game object itself because I'm including collidable and game object. So I don't know. I have to sit down here and deal with the tedium of just like going through this and sorting out all of my includes and forward declarations. I think that's my main problem here. Um, okay. But yeah, I think in terms of templates, I have the basic skeleton sort of laid out. Um, this was kind of a big thing to figure out. So this is where I should finally be um, like testing the collision. And I'm pretty sure this is the correct way to do it. Um, yeah. So that's what I've got so far. Obviously, I have a lot of catching up to do, and I'm planning on coming into your office hours this Tuesday, so maybe I can get some help. At least with just like the tedious stuff of sorting out all those includes and forward declarations and whatnot, because I think that's what set me back, and I was just sitting here for like 2 or 3 hours just going through that, and it was a pain. Um, but yeah, that's where I am this week, and I will see you in class.